What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my channel. I'm Gio, and this is
Gio's World.
So yeah, this is my first video. I've been contemplating, making content on YouTube for a long time. I do make content on Instagram. Go follow me at The Ventures Kid. And yeah, so I've been contemplating, YouTube, just because even now, like, I feel so weird sitting and talking in front of a camera, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Anyway, so today's video, I'm going to talk about what it's like being trans and living in Oklahoma.
Oh boy.
I know. So if you know anything about what's going on in the US right now, specifically with the Trump administration and just basically all the bull that they're doing, then you know it's like really crazy for people like me, or specifically in the LGBTQ community in general, immigrants, women, POC. It's hard out here.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp.
Okay, and so living in a red state, I'm from Oklahoma, born and raised here, lived here all my life. There are some challenges, there really are, and I want to talk about them today, okay? Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is new for me. It's my first, like I said, first YouTube video, first YouTube channel. So please don't forget to support, all right? So yeah, living in Oklahoma, a lot of people would assume being trans is like a horror story. It can be. So just a little background about myself. Like I said, I'm born and raised in Oklahoma. I was raised in the church, specifically the Pentecostal church. Yeah, I know. That is a whole nother story. I'll do a video on that if you guys want. Let me know down in the comments. Yeah, I grew up in the church, very, very religious. My parents were very, big figures in the church. My godparents were very big figures in the church. So I got a very religious background, right? Growing up, I always knew it was something a little different. I was like, yeah, I don't know. One, I knew for sure I did not like men.
Yeah.
I was like, me and men we're not here. So for a very long time, I just didn't date. I didn't have any boyfriends. I didn't have anything. And I think, my family and friends and everybody kind of knew, like, okay, what's really the tea? And so I came out as gay or lesbian when I was about 17 years old. And that was a challenge within itself, but it wasn't as big as coming out as trans. I'm sure you can imagine that was extremely difficult for me. I had support, from my friends and a few family members. Some were kind of like no and still are like no. But that's their prerogative, I don't care. Because it's still gonna be me at the end of the day.
Period.
But yeah, it was very difficult. Honestly, to be honest, it took a longer time coming out as gay or lesbian than it did to come out as trans. I literally had the revelation like during meditation. Never forget this morning. I was meditating, and this was during the pandemic, and something just came to me, and I like saw me. It was a little boy. I knew it was me. It looked like me, but I obviously didn't at that time present as male. So I was like, what is this? But it was just a little boy just running in a field of flowers, and it just dawned on me. And again, like I said, I've always known that there was something different. Always have known that there was something different specifically about my gender identity. Growing up in the church, I didn't have the words to formulate what that was. I had no idea what transgender was at all. Like,
what is that? I don't know what that is.
We weren't exposed to that in my household at all. We were barely exposed to anything LGBTQ friendly. If it was LGBTQ, it was kind of like on the anti-LGBTQ, unfortunately. I just knew like that was instantly what it was, and maybe like a day or so later I came out to my mom and my sister. It took them some time to like get the pronouns and get everything together, but honestly, they're my biggest supporters. I love them so much. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to you.
So yeah, after that, I just kind of came out to a few friends and a few more family members, and everything was cool. A lot of my friends and family, like I said, were supportive, and we're just like, hey, whatever we need to do to support you, we're gonna do it. I love that so much. It made me feel so seen and so heard and just so loved. About a year after that, in 2021, is when I started my actual physical transition. Started testosterone. I've been on and off for the past 4 years. Me and T kind of have, we got some beef, you know? I'll get into that another time. But as far as what transitioning socially was like for me, it was a bit rough. Now, I didn't have a job at the time, as far as like, well, I had a job, but it wasn't like a corporate job or like, you know, clocking in kind of thing. I was just babysitting. So I didn't really have to like come out to a boss or anything like that. As far as socially, it was weird. Them first, I want to say about 2 years, it was really, really weird because I would get misgendered a lot, and people would sometimes people would be like, "Oh, ma'am, oh, I'm so sorry, sir," and it would just be awkward because I'm like,
I don't know what the that was.
I'm not used to it. I will say, when I was a kid, like really, really young, I used to get misgendered, or I'm gonna say gender correctly. I just didn't know at the time. All the time when I was a kid, like people used to come up to my mom and be like, "Oh my God, he's so cute, he's so cute." And my mom would be like, "That's a girl." And I'd be like, "No, Mom, no, it was right."
Exactly right. Exactly right.
It's happened to me all the time. And as a kid, like, I just didn't understand it. I was just like, this feels right, but I'm being told that it's not right. You know what I mean? It was like this internal battle that I was facing from like 5 years old. Like, for all those people who are out there who do not believe that children know that they're transgender, a big okay? Let me tell you why. I knew that, again, like I said, that there was something different. Didn't know the words, didn't know the terminologies. And I will say that kids nowadays, you know, you got the words, you got the internet. So, you know, kudos to you. But for me, I didn't know anything about it. I just knew I didn't feel comfortable presenting female, you know? And so anytime that anybody validated my feelings by calling me he, or there was a period of time where I was in elementary school, I was obsessed with this man right here. Come on! And I would make people call me Michael. I had no idea why. I was telling people, oh, it's because I like Michael Jackson. I just want you to call me Michael Jackson. I used to dance like him and everything. And I used to want everybody to call me Michael. That was a form of my transness coming out and trying to escape, you know, or present itself. But again, I didn't have the words, didn't have the terminology. And I feel like even if I did, I probably still would not have came out, just because my family, again, very, very religious at the time, would not have accepted it at all. But anyway, fast forward all the way until 2022, that's when I really first started getting gendered correctly, like all the time. Like, it was so rare for anybody to call me ma'am. I really like that. I really, really like that. Like, it just felt so affirming, so reassuring, just so safe too, because it made me feel safe in the space that I was in, because in my body I was still going through this phase of like, I'm male, but I still look female. So it's like a never-ending battle that trans people go through. I don't want to speak for all trans people, but for me, in my personal experience, even 5 years after coming out and being on testosterone for 4 years, I still struggle, you know? It is still a struggle. I haven't had certain surgeries. Like I said, I'm on and off testosterone, so my voice kind of goes up and down. My facial hair kind of grows, and then sometimes it doesn't. It's a lot. But I wouldn't trade for the world. I really wouldn't. My experience has been amazing. So let me get into what this video is actually about. Living in Oklahoma as a trans person. I don't face discrimination, or I have not faced discrimination for being trans. Never been denied in like a bar or like a public setting or anything for being trans. Most of the time, I'm just gonna assume people don't even know that I'm trans. They probably just think I'm a very feminine man, which I'm cool with, because I am. Okay. But yeah, I've never faced any type of discrimination. There was this one time Let's talk about it. There was this one time where I was in a nursing home. I was passing by these older women, you know, just doing a normal pep step or whatever. And I smiled at them. Hi, ladies, how you doing? And they stopped and they looked me up and down. It was about 3 of them. And they looked me up and down and they said, is that a man or a woman? And I just kind of like froze because this is the first time. And this happened like maybe a couple of months ago, not too long ago. This was the first time that ever has happened to me. And I just stood there and I was like, I don't know what to do. And they, of course, ignorantly said, that's a he, she. That's a they, them. I like my Oklahoma accent. That's a they, them.
Yeehaw!
And I was just like, I mean, hey, if that's what you see me as, have a nice day. Kept it pushing. Because honestly, what my gender identity has, you know, shown me over the years is that I know who I am. I know how I identify and I know how I feel, right? But how you perceive me has absolutely nothing to do with me. Nothing at all. You know, if you view me as a man, if you view me as a woman, I don't really care. That's not my goal, you know, is to pass enough. I will say when I first came out, that was like the ultimate goal. I was like, I gotta pass. I gotta, you know, I wanna live stealthily. I don't want anybody to know I'm trans. And I think that was a lot of fear because unfortunately, transgender was a like taboo thing to me or taboo thing to even talk about in my home state. Now, when I actually got out into the world and started hanging around my people, I didn't feel that at all. And I guess that's probably why I feel so comfortable being myself now, is because I'm around like-minded people, you know? Shout out to my tribe. Anyway, it's kind of like it's an up and down battles. I know a lot of people ask like, oh, do you have any issues getting HRT? Yes.
Yeah.
Now I do. This used to not be an issue at all. I would just put in my order with my doctor. It would go through, no problems. Pick it up literally the same day. Not so much anymore. And they keep telling me, oh, we're out of stock. You know, you just don't have it yet. It's a whole bunch of bull. I've been really trying to get it squared away. At first, I thought it was like because of an insurance change. I just updated my insurance like last week, and they're still telling me that, you know, my order is processing. So it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I don't want to blame it on the laws that are, you know, trying to be passed or being passed. But like I said, I haven't had this issue for the past 4 years. So kind of feeling like that's the problem.
Ese es el problema.
Anyway, long story short, growing up in Oklahoma has had its ups and downs being queer, 100%. But it's not as bad as everybody thinks. Oklahoma is what you make it, you know, honestly. I mean, that goes far beyond your gender identity or sexual orientation. That's with everything. You know, it could be the most boringest state in the world, or it could be the most fun state in the world. It's just what you make it. I do not plan on being here the rest of my life. I can guarantee you that.
Hashtag guarantee.
But I do love Oklahoma. It's home. You know, the people are friendly. Even the rednecks. Shout out to the rednecks.
We're not rednecks. Yeah, that's Texans, butthole.
Even them. You know, they're friendly. So yeah, that's my little TED Talk for today. Again, it's my first video, so please be nice. Bear with me. I'm still learning the in and outs of being behind the camera and talking for a long period of time. I got to get used to it. So if you are interested in similar content like this video, please go ahead and subscribe, go ahead and like, go ahead and comment and share with your friends and family who need to be informed about trans rights, okay, and LGBTQ rights. And not just that, I'm gonna do other things on this channel, talk about music. I love music. You know, do some maybe tarot readings and meditations and things. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, guys, and thank you so much for your support. It means a lot. All right.